Big Tech's mineral hunger fuels the M23 crisis in DRC. These companies' insatiable demand for minerals like coltan drives a smuggling supply chain, significantly shaping Rwanda's role in resource exploitation. This demand exacerbates conflict and instability in the region. The result is substantial repercussions for the DRC and its people. Understanding the dual-edged sword of Big Tech's role is crucial in addressing the complexities of the M23 Rwanda-Uganda DRC crisis. With EU as a middleman, the heart of Africa is bleeding. The Democratic Republic of Congo, a nation rich in resources but plagued by conflict, is once again at a crossroads. The M23 rebellion, a brutal conflict with roots in ethnic tensions and a scramble for power, has plunged the region into chaos. Millions have been displaced, countless lives lost, and the stability of Central Africa hangs precariously in the balance. This is not just another African war. The M23 crisis, with its complex web of actors and interests, has far-reaching implications. It is a story of human suffering, political maneuvering, and the insatiable hunger for resources that has fueled conflict for far too long. To grasp the gravity of the situation, we must first journey back in time. The M23, named after a peace accord signed on March 23, 2009, is not a new phenomenon. It is an offshoot of a larger conflict, a continuation of the violence that has tormented the DRC for decades. The group, composed primarily of ethnic Tutsis, claims to fight for the rights of marginalized communities. However, their actions tell a different story. Accusations of atrocities against civilians, including summary executions and sexual violence, paint a grim picture of their reign in the East. The M23's resurgence ignites regional chaos, fueled by colonial legacies of contested borders, tribal strife, and relentless exploitation of minerals by foreign powers and warlords, plundering the rare earth wealth.
The human cost of this conflict is staggering. Over 7 million people, more than the entire population of some countries, have been internally displaced. Families torn apart, homes abandoned, lives uprooted. The scale of the humanitarian crisis is almost incomprehensible.
They live in overcrowded camps, lacking access to basic necessities. Food, water, and medical supplies are scarce, and the threat of disease looms large. Women and children bear the brunt of the suffering, vulnerable to exploitation, abuse, and forced recruitment. This is a humanitarian catastrophe of epic proportions.
While the M23 portrays itself as a homegrown movement, its ties to external actors complicate the narrative. Neighboring Rwanda, accused of backing the rebels with troops and supplies, has emerged as a central figure in this intricate geopolitical chess game.
Uganda, too, has been implicated in providing support to the M23, further fueling the flames of conflict. These allegations, vehemently denied by both countries, raise uncomfortable questions about the true nature of the rebellion. Is this a genuine uprising or a proxy war orchestrated by external powers vying for influence and control over the DRC's vast mineral wealth?
The capture of Goma, the capital of North Kivu province, by M23 rebels in January 2025 sent shockwaves through the region. This strategic victory, a major escalation in the conflict, marked a turning point in the crisis. It underscored the M23's growing strength and exposed the Congolese government's inability to protect its own citizens, where even the United Nations peacekeeping force, MONUSCO, despite its presence on the ground, has failed. The fall of Goma had profound regional implications. It intensified fears of a wider war, with neighboring countries potentially drawn into the conflict. The international community, caught off guard by the rebels' swift advance, was forced to confront the reality of a spiraling crisis threatening to destabilize the entire Great Lakes region.
The struggle for resources, fueling the fire. Beneath the surface of ethnic tensions and political rivalries lies another, often overlooked driver of conflict: resources. The DRC, often dubbed the geological scandal for its extraordinary mineral wealth, sits atop a treasure trove of gold, diamonds, coltan, and cobalt, essential components of our modern electronics. This abundance of resources, however, has become a curse in disguise. Armed groups, both domestic and foreign, are locked in a ruthless battle for control of these riches. The M23 is no exception, exploiting the region's mineral wealth to finance its operations and perpetuate the cycle of violence. The scramble for resources is not just an economic issue, it is the lifeblood of the conflict.
The international community. A silent observer? The international community's response to the M23 crisis has been widely criticized as slow, inadequate, and lacking a cohesive strategy. While condemnations and calls for peace have been issued, concrete actions to address the root causes of the conflict and hold perpetrators accountable have been lacking. The United Nations peacekeeping force, MONUSCO, despite its presence on the ground, has faced limitations in fulfilling its mandate of protecting civilians and stabilizing the region. Lack of resources, a complex operating environment, and accusations of inaction have plagued the mission. The international community's failure to effectively address the crisis has left the Congolese people feeling abandoned and disillusioned.
The road ahead towards a lasting peace. Achieving a lasting peace in the DRC will require a multi-pronged approach, addressing both the symptoms and the root causes of the conflict. Military solutions alone will not suffice. A comprehensive strategy must prioritize dialogue, reconciliation, and addressing the underlying issues of poverty, inequality, and ethnic tensions. Strengthening governance, promoting economic development, and ensuring equitable access to resources are crucial steps towards breaking the cycle of violence. The international community must move beyond rhetoric and take concrete actions to support these efforts, holding all actors accountable for their role in the conflict. Unveiling the truth. The M23 crisis is a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of our world. What happens in the heart of Africa resonates far beyond its borders. It is a story of human suffering, greed, and the urgent need for collective action. We cannot afford to turn a blind eye to this unfolding tragedy. I urge you to delve deeper into this complex issue, to understand the forces at play and the human cost of inaction. Share this story, raise awareness, and demand that our leaders prioritize peace and justice in the DRC. The fate of millions hangs in the balance. The time for action is now. Thank you for watching. This has been KIMLUD Media.